Thank you, Mr. President. Again, I'd like to thank Senator Stewart Cousins as well as the sponsor for carrying this resolution. Something Senator Stewart Cousins said that I think is very true is that the Korean War has been viewed as a forgotten war, sandwiched between World War II, where we literally, the stake and the fate of the world hung in the balance, and Vietnam, a war that divided this country in ways that up to that time had not been seen, and that took the lives of 58,000 Americans. This war, whether it was a conflict officially or an international police action, it was a war that took the lives of nearly 37,000 Americans. And it's interesting because World War II was a total victory for the Allies. Today we look at Europe and there are not too many remnants, if any, politically or otherwise, of that conflict. In Vietnam, there are no U.S. troops there, and Vietnam today is a peaceful country. And yet, Korea is still divided. And North Korea is one of the most repressive regimes in the entire world. And there are still U.S. troops stationed in Korea, very much in harm's way at the demilitarized zone today. And we still worry about North Korean actions today. So it shouldn't be forgotten. But more importantly, the sacrifice of our veterans who fought there should not be forgotten. I had the privilege to take several groups of veterans to Washington, D.C. on a Heroes flight, very similar to the honor flights that go on. And we would take World War II veterans to see the World War II monument that had been built in their honor, but many, many years after many of them were able to see it. And I'm sure many people in this chamber have been able, hopefully, to be a part of that, because it's an unbelievable experience to go down there and see these memorials with people who served in those conflicts. And so the World War II monument sort of was the impetus for a lot of these flights. And we also brought some Vietnam veterans down. They would often go as chaperones. And we would go to the wall, and they would lay a wreath, and it was a very moving moment. But we would also go to the Korean War Memorial, because we always had some Korean War veterans. And it was a haunting memorial. The Korean War Memorial does not get as much attention as some of the other monuments down there, but it's a very haunting memorial, those statues of our soldiers on patrol. And as the years went on, there were less and less World War II veterans, as we would all appreciate and understand, and increasingly the veterans were Korean War veterans. And so they are that elder statesman, the elder class of veterans today in America, increasingly, is our Korean War veterans. And we should endeavor to make sure that they are not forgotten, that their service and their sacrifice is not forgotten, but also that the reason they fought and the legacy of that conflict certainly shouldn't be forgotten, lest we find American servicemen and women back in Korea sometime in the future, which would be a real shame. So to be forgotten is something that no veteran should ever have to worry about, and I applaud all of my members and colleagues in this chamber today for bringing this resolution to the floor and for ensuring that our Korean War veterans here in New York State know that you indeed are not forgotten, and in fact, quite the opposite, that you're very much appreciated for the sacrifice and service to America. So, Mr. President, thank you.